Well, hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of It's Really Supernatural. I'm your host, Henry Schaefer. We're getting ready to get started here tonight. I got a good lineup for you here. Got some things I want to talk to you about, but I'm also going to want to ask everybody else to chime in as well. So we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to be talking about the coronavirus, and we're going to talk about tracking, what they plan to do with all the people who have had the coronavirus, who they think might get the coronavirus, and how does this play in to the end time scenario of the Antichrist, the beast, and being able to buy, sell, go different places and things like that. So it's going to be kind of a little different tonight. I want to share with you just some things like this, and this is what the program's about. It's really supernatural, because I really think that we're standing on the edge of tribulation, and I just wanted to take the time just to share with everybody some things that we've come across and some things that we've been talking about. So it's talking about the coronavirus and tracking. What do they plan to do after this, and how are they going to do this, and how does it play into the end time events that's going on all around us? Maria Babb, she's watching. God bless you, everybody. Carol, Diane Hasdale, God bless you. Sarah Johnson, Joe Gullen III, he's watching. Marvin Butler, everybody here. Aaron Morse is watching. Big shout out to Michelle Casbier. Michael Burton, he's watching as well. God bless everybody. Cassie, good to see Cassie Johnson. Good to see everybody here. Brandon, he's watching as well. God bless you, Brandon. Donna Creech Roberts, she's watching here tonight. God bless everybody. Hey, everybody, stay tuned in. We've got a lot we're going to share with everybody. Walter Brand is watching as well. Theodore Tansley, I think they're from up New York. What does it say? Bring them on camera. Can I do that? Can I bring them on camera? Do you think I can do that? I don't know if I can do. No, I can't do this here. Jasmine Soto's watching as well. And anyway, so tell everybody, hey, tune in. We got some things that we want to share with everybody here tonight. And, there's a lot going on in the world right now. They're opening back up the state of South Carolina, the state of Georgia. They're opening all of that back up. So there's a lot happening very quick. It's going to happen real quick. Just as quick as they shut everything down is as quick as they are going to bring everything back up. It's going to come up very quickly. But they're going to be doing some things that I think everybody needs to be aware of, that is just going to surprise everybody to some things that's going to be required of us. I know a lot of people have been talking about, what about the vaccine? When they come up with the coronavirus vaccine, are we going to take or are you going to take the vaccine? It's not up to me, it's up to you. Are you going to take the vaccine that they're going to be offering to everybody? Is that what's going to happen? And then what about the people who have had the coronavirus, and they're testing now, and they're finding out that many more people than they ever thought had it. It's already been out there, and some people have had that virus. And what about the people who haven't had it? If you haven't had it yet, you're targeted. You know that, right? If you haven't had the coronavirus and have not had that experience, they're going to target those people. Because I'm just letting you know what I think's happening. Because it's just like having any of the measles or the mumps or any of these things as we were growing up. They made sure you got all your shots and different things like that. And then, of course, remember the measles outbreak that we had just last year, a year before, of all the people who refused to have their children vaccinated. They weren't able to go to schools. They weren't able to go places and things like that. So you need to remember these kind of things that's going on. So what would we say if we asked you about the coronavirus and we talked about the vaccinations and different things like that? If it depended on you going to work, what would you do? What would be the answer that you would do? What would it be to being able to go to the doctor, to be able to go to Walmart, or be able to go into a movie theater, any place like that? That would be of a public venue. What would it be that if they said you can't come in here unless you've had that? And then that question I have to ask to you this here, because I'm setting the questions up. It would be this here. How would they track you, whether you had it or not? And that's kind of what we want to discuss tonight, is about the technology that's going to be used to track people with this. I mean, they're already talking about this here. Just remember, here's what I want you to always remember this here. What happens in Europe comes here. Always remember that. I don't care whether it's the music. I don't care whether it's the clothing design. I don't care if it's the technology. Watch this here. What happens in Europe comes here. So even what you see in Europe as far as Muslims and all of these different areas in England and the way you see it there, all that panic, that it goes there first, then it comes here. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it always has been. So, I mean, it's like war. They were in war first, then we got it. It's just the way it is. So just think about what's the technology that they're using in these different areas, and see that if we're looking at this here, let's get a few more people here. Wade Hapakinsky, I think I said that right. Rachel Lawrence is watching. Michael Toole is watching. Brian Mercer is watching. Buddy Babb's watching. God bless everybody. Jared Griffin is watching as well. Make sure you share this with everybody. We've got some things we're going to talk about tonight. And I'm in a little different studio here tonight. I'm still up here in New Wellington, South Carolina, doing my program. But I'm in the small studio here tonight, and I may take the phone calls off of my phone here and see if I can't mic it in and what have you. But I do have the equipment coming so I can do it straight in off the board. That should be arriving sometime this week. But anyway, I do want to get your input into these different things. So let's just go ahead and get started here. I want to thank you for tuning in, though. I come on a little late here on Fridays because we have a 6 o'clock show, we have a 7 o'clock show, that means 8 o'clock, and then I set up after that to get everything done. So really, it's a time that we can talk as long as we want to. I'm not limited by an hour or whatever we want to do. So let's just go ahead and let's get started here. So I got a couple of videos I want to share with you and let you look at. This video here is talking about what is coming and how they're going to track us and what countries are already doing. We're going to talk about Korea, South Korea. We're going to talk about Israel, what they're doing in Israel. And, Israel is a democracy like us. I mean, they're supposed to be just like we are. They are supposed to be just like we are in having that democracy, that freedom. So they are concerned about certain things as well. So let's just watch this first video, settle on back, and we're going to talk here. We got to set everything up, and then we're going to sit back and we're going to talk here just for a moment. Here we go. Here's our video here.
Well, governments globally are enacting strict measures to contain the coronavirus, raising questions about individual freedoms and privacy rights during a pandemic. Israel has given its security agencies the power to track the mobile data of people suspected of having the virus. The government will use the information to force them into quarantine and warn those who've come into contact with them. South Korea has taken similar steps by using mobile phone and satellite technology to track potential carriers. Ali Funk is a researcher for the watchdog Freedom House. She says strict measures must be put in place to ensure people's privacy isn't at risk once the pandemic is over.
We know from a public health perspective, it can be beneficial to track infected or potentially infected people. But what we're really concerned about is that this location tracking, the health-related information is going to be used for other purposes, particularly by governments who are using surveillance to track down activists or human rights defenders or journalists or even opposition figures. So if this information has to be collected, which I think in order to justify the collection, we have to ensure that it is scientifically supported as a way to protect public health. We need to ensure that the restrictions are as narrow as possible. So then when we get out of this, our privacy protections are still there, because what's happening is these current restrictions could have a lasting effect way long after we get the outbreak under control. It's going to be a big challenge. And it's something that we see post, terrorist attacks or other type of crises. And that's why it's very important for tech companies who are making these tools, for civil society groups, ordinary citizens, to really understand what type of limitations are happening now, so that once we get past this really scary time, we can fight again to have our privacy rights back to us, and free expression and freedom of association and assembly.
Well, you hear it there. I mean, they're concerned about what's going to happen afterwards. Now, here's one thing you have to think about, is that bringing this pandemic into the country, whether it was released through biological weapon, being weaponized, an accident, whatever came. And of course, if you look at all the things that they're talking about from our government, especially the conspiracy theorists, those people who talk about, I mean, this is a setup to depopulate the world, which you have to think about. There's only two forces in the world fighting, really. It's God and the devil, evil, God and the devil, evil and good. So there's things that are happening, and the ultimate goal in the world is a one world government with the Antichrist seated at the very top of this thing. He's going to use technology to control people. He's going to use the things that are out there that we have in our hands to be able to control us. So let's be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. That's what the purpose of this is. So you can see how other countries are already setting up to look at these things, and they're concerned. And remember what she said here. You got to go back and listen to it. She says, we're giving up freedom now, some freedoms now that people would absolutely be frightened of. And then after the pandemic is over with, that we can get our freedoms back. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Anything you ever give up, you don't never get back. That's like the ground. The devil, he'll take your ground. He'll take everything away from you. It's like if you work at a company and you have 2 weeks vacation, and they'll say, well, we can't afford to pay you 2 weeks. We're going to take 1 week back, take it away from your benefits. And here's what I'm going to tell you. You're never getting that week back. If you give that week up, you're never getting that week back. Here's the thing about the freedoms as well. When you start giving your freedoms up, now I'm not inciting a revolt. That's not what I'm talking about. I am here just to talk to you about, man, we live in a supernatural world, and there are supernatural experiences that are taking place, and we're living it right now. And it's amazing. You got people here saying, there ain't nothing going on. This, everything. I'm telling you what, there's something bigger than you can imagine that's happening right now. That the enemy, this is a setup of things that's taking place right now. I've got, I like what Donna said here. She says, to be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. Mary Ruth is watching. God bless you. Laura Tiedman's watching. Rachel Lawrence is watching. So she's telling me to preach. Am I in the preaching mode already? Zachary Staples is watching. Francis Johnson's watching. Cody Green, Bill Gordon. Wow, we got all these people. And just, hey, sit back and enjoy it. Hey, here's what we're going to talk about. We're talking about the coronavirus tracking and the things that's happening now and the purpose of why they're doing these things and what's going to happen to us, to those people who haven't had the coronavirus, don't want to have anything to do with it. What has God already said about these things, knowing that we're living in the end time? And of course, of this here. So I'm not constrained tonight by time. So we're just going to sit on the radio here. We're streaming over that radio. We're streaming over the internet. You can go to Henry Schaefer's Facebook. You can share it from there. I've shared it over to WUCC 99.9 FM's Facebook. You can get it from there. We're streaming to a channel that's called the IRS Files. That's It's Really Supernatural Files up on YouTube. You can catch it there, share it with everybody, let them know what we're talking about here. But we're talking about the tracking. Remember what we just said here. This one person says that they are concerned that once this is over with. Now, on that video, you saw where they had their smartphones, and they were tracking them with temperature, seeing how hot they were. That 26 degrees was Celsius, and they were looking at everybody on this here. So let's just go ahead and pick another one up. And this video here is from Israel. Now, we all love Israel, so let's just see some of us love Israel. So let's just see what's going on here with this video here from Israel.
Ambulances with patients infected by the coronavirus are arriving at a hotel in Tel Aviv that's been turned into a makeshift quarantine facility. The number of new infections is increasing every day. To fight COVID-19, Israel is now using counter-terrorism technology. Cell phones of quarantined citizens and virus carriers can be tracked by Israel's domestic intelligence agency.
The public understands and the public realizes that it is for their own national health services and for their own safety. If an individual is walking around in Jerusalem and he's fled the isolation, We have to find him as quick as possible.
A video showing a man being detained by special forces. He allegedly fled quarantine. The police is also tasked to break up gatherings of more than 10 people, which are now banned. At police headquarters in Jerusalem, operations are closely monitored. A man being detained by special technology can also be used to identify those who were unknowingly in contact with a person carrying the virus. Anyone who has had close contact with a COVID-19 case will be notified via text message to go into isolation. Acting Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced the measures this week.
We will authorize the use of digital tools for a limited period of time of 30 days. Israel is a democracy, and we must maintain the balance between civil rights and the public's needs.
The move has caused a debate in Israel over privacy and potential lack of oversight. The measures were approved by a caretaker government, and parliament had no say in the matter. Tech experts say Israel is walking a fine line.
As long as it is within the law and the data is being protected, and I think overall it's a good thing that's being done. We're not the first to do it. Taiwan, China, and other locations of the world are doing similar things. I think we're just taking it maybe a step up in terms of trying to reduce potential contagion.
Tel Aviv under a partial lockdown. Tens of thousands across the country are in quarantine. The rest of the population has now been asked to stay home.
This is aiming our basic privacy. That's the problem. I guess it's not a problem for fighting the corona, the virus, but it's an excuse to keep using it on different stuff.
I think if they're using it for the right purpose and not afterwards taking it further away, and it's only for corona, I think it's a wise thing to do because that's the way everything spreads.
In the meantime, Israel's High Court has given the government until Tuesday to establish parliamentary oversight of the surveillance program.
Okay, so anyway, so you can see here how Israel is concerned about what's going on and the people there in Israel. And when we look, let me get off this line right here a minute here. There we go. So when we look at here in just Israel, they are tracking people as well. So if somebody breaks quarantine, that they're going to be able to know where they're at and what they're doing and where they're going. And of course, you got to look at how are they doing this? What are they going to do? And how they're going to track this here. Now, a lot of people right now are talking about that if you have the coronavirus or some people who are coming into our country, coming from other countries that are still eligible to come in, that many of them are having to wear wristbands. Just say you come in and you're going to be quarantined. Well, they put a wristband on you, and therefore then you go to your home and you quarantine for 2 weeks. And the thing is that they're supposed to know with that wristband where are you at here in the United States and other places. Where are you at with that wristband? So the thing is, you start looking at what are they doing with this technology and how are they going to use it? One person put on here, and I think we were talking about, it says, Mike says, can you turn location off on your phone? Yes, you can turn your location off on your phone. But Mike, there's some things I want to share with you about that, especially your smartphones that you have here. Rebecca Fleming said hello. Alexis Patton is watching with us. Let's go ahead on down here. Ernie Farron. Hey, Ernie, how you doing tonight? Ernie Farron's looking at us. Mona Shalazar is watching. How you doing, Mona? Everybody, Shannon Steele's watching. Sheila Young is watching with you. And, of course, everybody. So make sure you share this with everybody. Don't leave. Hey, don't just come in here and look at here and just turn and go on. You're going to want to hear. I got some stuff to share with you tonight that's going to really shock you. And what your phone is already set up to do. Of course, you know this. They can ping your phone anywhere and everything. In this here, Tom Beliveau, he just texted me. He said, I've been at home working ever since March 30th on all of these things. Sure, this is going on everywhere. I mean, they're even talking about now to where people who have been renting the spaces for their offices. And watch this here now. so that they're saying, okay, we're not going to rent space in office space anymore. You're going to see office space become very, very cheap and plentiful, because a lot of these people have found out that they can do their work at home. And not only that, you'll do it for them at home and use your own things right there and just take your personal time. Well, you know how that works at home. And of course, they're going to be able to track you at home, make sure that you're online doing so many things for so many hours. So it's getting to a place to where you can't go to work, but you can go home and do your work, and you're going to see those things come available as well. It's just, this is a setup. The enemy is getting ready to set up. He's getting ready to do some things here in the last days with the Antichrist, all of these things that are coming about. He's getting ready to do some things. I'm excited about it. It's not to be fearful. See, all these people say, well, you don't have any faith. No, I got faith. If you're fearful, get in my back pocket, but I got to let you know what's going on and tell everybody these things are happening here as well. So let's look at it here. When we look at this here, there is a program that they have of how they track everybody and how they're going to just say you have. Let me talk about your phone a moment. When we talk about your phone, have you ever done this here? Have you ever left your phone in a buggy at Walmart and then drive off and then try to find out where is your phone at? Of course, you know that your iPhone has that feature in it where you can find out where's my iPhone. And you can go, and what I had to do is I went home, got on my laptop, and actually say, where's my iPhone at? And it was pinging right there inside Walmart and at the courtesy counter. Somebody had found it in the cart, and they had taken it in there, and it was still pinging. And I went right over there where it was at and got my phone, told them what it was and everything. So, I mean, I've already done that. I'm sure you have done it as well. I mean, and it's a great tool to be able to do these things with. But it can be a little more nefarious at the things that's going to happen when the enemy starts to take the technology that we have and he twists it and he uses it against the people that are there in the last days. You know what I mean? You can't buy or sell. You can't go to work. You can't do any of these things. And what the setup is with this coronavirus, it's just a setup to see how people are responding right now. It's a setup to see how we respond to all of these things. It's going to be good, isn't it, of all of the things that's happening. So let's go ahead, and I want to show you another one here that talks about, just say a person breaks quarantine and that they are, I mean, just say you go into Walmart or you go into a place right now to where they're not wearing a mask. You know, mask, you don't have to wear a mask. They say wear a mask. But just say they're not wearing a mask or they're too close. You hear what I'm saying? They're too close, and you're going to tell on them. And there's somebody's going to rat on you. How are they going to do this? How are they going to rat on you and find out where they're actually at and everything? And I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you how and what the UN has already done in the world and has already mapped the world out in like 10-foot segments, meters that have already been mapped out to where everybody's at and how they're going to use this here. I want to run this video for you right here. It's called, see if I got it right here. What 3 words? And you can look on your smartphone, go to your app on your smartphone and go to the App Store, whether it be Android or whether it be an Apple phone or whatever you got, and go there and look for what 3 words. And when you look for those 3 words that are there, you're going to find out that they've got every 10-foot section of the whole world, the globe, has already been identified by 3 words as an address. Let's watch this video right here. You're going to be shocked when you watch this thing here.
According to the UN, billions of people still live without an address. The economist Hernando de Soto said, "Without an address, you live outside the law. You might as well not exist." I'm here to tell you how my team and I are trying to change that. If you go to an online map and look at a favela in Brazil or a township in South Africa, you'll see a few streets, but a lot of empty space. But if you flip to satellite view, there are thousands of people, homes, and businesses in this vast, unmapped and unaddressed spaces. In Ghana's capital, Accra, there are numbers and letters scrawled onto the sides of walls where they've piloted address systems but not finished them. But these places, these unaddressed places, hold huge economic potential. Here's why the issue of addressing stuck with me. I worked in the music business for 10 years, and what you may not know about the music world is that every day people struggle with the problems of addressing. So from the musicians who have to find the gigs to the production companies who bring the equipment, everyone somehow always gets lost. We even had to add someone to our schedules who was the person you called when you thought you'd arrived, but then realized you hadn't. And we had some pretty bad days, like in Italy, where a truck driver unloaded all the equipment an hour north of Rome, not an hour south of Rome, and a slightly worse day where a keyboard player called me and said, "Chris, don't panic, but we may have just sound-checked at the wrong people's wedding." So not long after the fated Rome event, I chatted this through with a friend of mine who's a mathematician, and we thought it was a problem we could do something about. We thought, well, we could make a new system, but it shouldn't look like the old system. We agreed that addresses were bad. We knew we wanted something very precise, but GPS coordinates, latitude and longitude, were just too complicated. So we divided the world into 3-meter squares. The world divides into around 57 trillion 3-meter squares, and we found that there were enough combinations of 3 dictionary words that we could name every 3-meter square in the world uniquely with just 3 words. We used 40,000 words, so that's 40,000 cubed, 64 trillion combinations of 3 words, which is more than enough for the 57 trillion odd 3-meter squares with a few spare. So that's exactly what we did. We divided the world into 3-meter squares, gave each one a unique 3-word identifier, what we call a 3-word address. So for example, right here, I'm standing at Mustard's Coupons Pinup. But over here, I'm standing at Pinched Singularly Tutorial. But we haven't just done this in English. We thought it was essential that people should be able to use this system in their own language. So far, we've built it into 14 languages, including French, Swahili, and Arabic. And we're working on more now, like Xhosa, Zulu, and Hindi. But this idea can do a lot more than just get my musicians to their gigs on time. If the 75% of countries that struggle with reliable addressing started using 3-word addresses, there's a stack of far more important applications. In Durban, South Africa, an NGO called Gateway Health have distributed 11,000 3-word address signs to their community, so that pregnant mothers, when they go into labor, can call the emergency services and tell them exactly where to pick them up from, because otherwise the ambulances have often taken hours to find them. In Mongolia, the National Post Service have adopted the system and are now doing deliveries to many people's houses for the first time. The UN are using it to geotag photos in disaster zones so they can deliver aid to exactly the right place. Even Domino's Pizza are using it in the Caribbean because they haven't been able to find customers' homes, but they really want to get their pizza to them while it's still hot. Shortly, you'll be able to get into a car, speak the 3 words, and the car will navigate you to that exact spot. In Africa, the continent has leapfrogged phone lines to go to mobile phones, bypassed traditional banks to go straight to mobile payments. We're really proud that the post services of 3 African countries, Nigeria, Djibouti, and Cote d'Ivoire, have gone straight to adopting 3-word addresses, which means that people in those countries have a really simple way to explain where they live today. For me, poor addressing was an annoying frustration, but for billions of people, it's a huge business inefficiency, severely hampers their infrastructure growth, and can cost lives. We're on a mission to change that, 3 words at a time. Thank you.
Now, That app is available on your phone right now. All you got to do is go to your phone, and don't turn off watching me to go to the app store to look to see if it's there. It's there. It's called What 3 Words. And when you go there, you're going to be able to download that app, and you're going to be able to put in your address where you're at, your location. It's going to give you 3 words identified to where you're at. Now, we're talking about coronavirus tracking, and to talk about how good that this thing is. Like if they were in Africa where there isn't any addresses or anything, and a person had a smartphone, they could open up that app and they'd say, well, what 3 words are you at? And you enter those 3 words to where you're at, and you can find them and track right to where they're at. And it's within 3 meters, 10, I think it's like a 10-foot square. I think 10-foot square. So when we're talking about this here, you can do it on your phone when you get it and say, okay, here's my address now, and walk 10, 15 feet away, and your 3 words are going to change on there. Now, when we're talking about this coronavirus tracking, and we're talking about the technology is already here, you say, well, I know that. Yeah, but you have to realize people do not understand coordinates. They don't understand north, south, east, west, so many minutes due east. That's it. But they got it broken down to 3 words to where you can find anybody within 3 words. Let's go to the website here a moment. I'm going to pull this website up. I'm going to see if I can do it here on my computer here. And when you go to What 3 Words, look at it right here at the top. You can see What 3 Words is right when it comes up. And then it looks like it searched for any location. Now, I have not done this. I haven't done it as far as off my laptop, off my computer right here. But I'm going to do it now. We're going to see what happens here. Let's just do, and what do I want? Let's do it here. I'm at 933 South Main Street, New Wellington, South Carolina. Let's do 29809. Did I do that right? 29809. Let's see what comes up. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Let's just try it and see. Can I search the results? Look at it right here. I am at Clip Apples Leap. That is actually my address right now, to where all you got to do is look at, someone has to come up on their smartphone and say, well, where is Henry Schaefer at? And they would say, well, he's at Clip Apples Leap. Let's do this one here. Y'all want to do something? Let's back this thing up here a minute. Let's do another one here. Is everybody all right with me? Let's do, I don't know what, let's do Washington. Washington, 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 D.C. See what comes up. I guess that's going to be right there where it is. It's bottle figure bronze is where I wonder if I can put in the White House. See what comes up. Oh, look at that there, y'all. That's the White House, the home of the American president. Can you see this? It's Sulk Held Raves. That is his address right there. Now, when we start thinking about this here, we start thinking about how crazy is this and what can you do with this here. So if you have the app on the other end, you can say on there, where am I at? I am at Sulk Held Raves. Those are the 3 words that I am at. And then you can go anywhere to be able to find. You could go anywhere to be able to find. Isn't this crazy? How that this technology is already set up to be able to do this here. And as you move around in the White House and place your cursor around, it moves right where it is. Now, we're talking about tracking the coronavirus, and that's the purpose of what we're doing here. And when I say this here, what I'm telling you right now about this, I haven't heard nobody say this. See, that's just it. I haven't watched any videos. I haven't watched anybody say, oh, that'd be a good program to talk about tonight. I'm just telling you of the things that I have learned over the years. And I did a show on this, What Three Words, probably 3 or 4 years ago when this thing came out. Was it 2017? 3 years now? And that technology was there by the UN. Now, just think about what I'm saying. The UN wants to have their hands in everything, especially under our previous administration. The UN was practicing with our armed forces in the United States. You know that, right? I mean, the UN forces were here doing maneuvers in our state, in our country. And, you know, that's not good when you have the you don't want the UN in here, in the U.S. You want to be somewhere else, but not here. But they were here. Well, this was gathered by the UN because you have all these people who are going to be searching out people, and they're going to have an address. And for the common layperson, and it doesn't matter if you're a common layperson or if you are at the very top, all you got to do is have this app in your hands and know what 3 words, and you can find anybody and you find your coordinates right to where you needed to go at. Isn't this crazy stuff here? Who else is here still watching me? Is anybody still watching me? Let me see if I can't plug up my phone right here and get me some juice here going with everything. This is crazy, isn't it? I like this here. I like talking about this here because this is the way the real world is. Dana Turner, she says, I remember doing the show on IRS. Jerry Whitaker is watching. Skylar Cheryl is watching. Leonard Jones is watching. Everybody needs to watch. Everybody who's a Christian needs to know this. And you need to see how the technology is going to come together. I mean, people say, well, I'm not going to take a chip. I'm not going to take a chip. Nobody's going to insert a chip in me. Look at you and tell you, you already got one of the most productive chips you tote around with you. Look how big that chip is. That's a pretty big one, isn't it? And I'm telling you what, no matter, you leave that at home, you go back and get it. I mean, you leave this here, you go, oh my God, what's going on? I got to get my phone. I got to get my phone. I got to get my phone. So when you look at all of these kind of things here, they're setting you up with a chip. I mean, you got all these people who's got the Apple Watches now. Look here. It does away with this. You just put the watch on, and it does everything your phone does. I mean, and it's okay. I love technology. I mean, you know, I don't mind doing the technology. But here's the thing is that when you understand that this technology, what 3 words is going to be used, Mike Toole, he wants me to look up. Hey, Mike, I'm going to interact. Everybody, I'm going to interact with you. Let's do it here with Mike. He wants me to look this up for him. 3084. Y'all ready? Let me see if I can't get to it. Y'all going to bear with me a moment. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, where are you going to go at this time of night? You going to go anywhere? Hopefully, you're just going to. Let's see. No, it's not that one. Here it is, right here. He wants me to put his address in. Now, you know, Mike, I got to do it. I got to put it in here. It's going to be 3084. 3084. And we're going to call it Martintown Road. I guess that's North Augusta. Yeah, let's look at it right here. It's called Beverage Panting, Searching. This right here is your 3 words right here. That's your address to where they would come find you at that point right there. Isn't that crazy? So the whole place everywhere has been mapped and marked out. Everything has been marked out and mapped out. Everybody going to probably want me to do theirs, hasn't they? Look up a person's name and see if it tracks where they live at. Oh, let's do that's a pretty good one there. I'll do that. This is cool, y'all. Let me get back to my screen here where I'm at. Which screen was I on? Right there. It's the browser right here. Who put that in? CASE. No, didn't do it. No search results. No search results came up on that one. So it's not using names. Let's see if my name comes up in there. There must be a Schaefer Drive, but that's not me. There is a place called Schaefer Drive. I probably need to move there. You know what? Anyway, so it does addresses. Search by example. Let's do this here. Let's do Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Oh yeah, East Parkway. You know where that is? Oh, y'all know right where that the Ghost Walk is at. Great Smoky Mountain Ranger's office. The East Parkway, 441 right here is called Occurring Trackers and Territory. So, oh, look at this here. Y'all can just go all around. There's Ripley's. Let's click on Ripley's aquarium. See if we click on it, it changes. See how it changes right there? Operate, contracting, concourse. Now, the reason why I'm showing you all this here is when you think about this here, this coronavirus tracking and how they're going to do this and what they're going to need is that they're going to use, I mean, you heard people already say that if you have had the coronavirus, then you get a certain band on your wrist. If you haven't had the coronavirus, well, then you don't have that band on your wrist. They know. So it's almost kind of like what they did in Germany when they were marking the Jews, and they had bands on them to mark identifiers, or they did the Star of David to mark the Jews and what have you. When you start thinking about, I mean, for that time, they were thinking that this was a good thing. Of course, they came to cull out those people and kill those people. But now we're talking about the coronavirus in 2020. What's coming? So when I look at, here we are at 2020 in a pandemic that we've never had, which some people still don't believe that this is a pandemic. You got to ask all them people in New York that's dying. I think over 400 died today. Over 400 died the day before. Over 400 the day before. 500 the day before. 700. I mean, there's a lot of people that's dying every day. So the thing is that the enemy's using this to set up to how he's going to track with all the technology and all the things. And most people say, yeah, I want to know. I want to know whether or not a person has had the coronavirus or not. I mean, I got a story today that was told to me today. Dana's saying right here, see what names is for church, for our church. Is that what she's talking about, our church? Kathy Steele is watching with us as well. Rachel Lawrence is watching. I agree. What's the churches? They want to know what the churches is. Does University Parkway have an address? Let's look at it here where I pastor at. I'm going to bring it up here so y'all can see it. Then don't let me forget where I was at on this here. You ready? The church is 1761 University Parkway, Aiken, South Carolina, 29801. Dodged several itches. It's kind of sound like they're getting ready to go to deliverance, doesn't it? Dodged several itches. So you see, all you'd have to do is and see how they have those three lines. Those three lines are, that's how you know that you're dealing with what three words. With it dodged several hitches. You can go to What Three Words, the website right here. What Three Words. Check it out. Check the technology out. Put it on your phone. You're going to see it's a good piece of technology. I got it on my phone. And a lot of people's going to have it on their phone before they even realize it. The technology is already here to track us. Someone says, well, yeah, I know that they can ping. I know they can ping my phone and they can tell where I'm at and things. Yeah, they can do all of that. But what good is it to do this? So look at it. This is how this thing's going to work out. This is what's going to happen. Just say that you were in Walmart and you are not social distancing yourself like you should. And you see a person that's coming right on in, very blatant, going to do what they want to do. And all they're going to do is, let's do it right. All they're going to do is get on their phone, right on their phone where they're at, and they're going to type in what three words, what is my location, and they're going to call somebody and tell them that I am at these three words, and I am at Dodged, Hitches, and Carport, and they're going to know right where that person is at, and all you're going to have to do is walk with them and track them, and the other person don't even have to have anything on. They're going to use you as the person who is going to track them with to be able to tell them where they're at and what's going on, and people are going to use, I am set up at this location, and this is what I'm doing. Rachel Lawrence says, oh, I like that. Yeah, it's going to be good. And they can do all of this here. So, yeah, that's our church. Ruben Rodenstein is watching. So here's the thing. Now, am I trying to frighten you? I'm not trying to frighten you one bit. The program I do is called It's Really Supernatural. Because when it comes down to this here, we take a lot of the things that they're doing, and you're going to say, how are they doing that? And what's going on, to bring about how the supernatural enemy is going to use technology to control the people. And this coronavirus is just a setup. You know, I had somebody today that talked with me today, and they were telling me that, no, watch this here. They told me, they said, Pastor, that I want to let you know that there was a pastor in our local area, that a person who had the coronavirus, they came to church. This person came to church and had the coronavirus. And they came in, they went through the choir, they did their thing. They came into the meetings and did everything. And then at the end of the service, the person came and told them, the pastor, that they'd had the coronavirus. I mean, of course, they got very upset. Now, this is in a local church. This just happened to. And got very upset. This is right at that Sunday when we were talking about all of this. Well, then the pastor had to contact everybody who was there at the church to let them know that all those people who had been in that meeting, been in that choir meeting, had been exposed to that. Now, that is a group that we are associated, not my church, but I'm talking about the Christian community. This happened to. And when we were setting up, what did we have to do here at University Parkway? I said, okay, if people come, this was before they stopped making us, not let us, meet. As I said, okay, on that last Sunday, here's what we're going to do. When people come to church, we're going to ask them those 3 questions. Do you have a fever? Do you have a cough? Tell me how you're feeling, whatever it is. Have you been around anybody who's had the coronavirus? And then I just need your name and your phone number, your address, name, phone number, really. And then come on in and worship with us. And someone says, well, that's creepy doing all of that. Why would you even think about doing that? Because the reason why I'm telling you is because I need to know that this persons have been here, and just say one person came in with the coronavirus, then I need to tell people, I need to let you know. So, well, you don't need to let them know. I'm telling you, there's a church already that this happened at. And the pastor had to call the people to let them know what was going on. That, hey, you've been exposed to it, and you probably got it, and you don't need to expose it to anybody else. That's the purpose. Now, that is just using the old tool of writing. But what they're going to be able to do, they're going to be able to track you on your phone and know on this date, this is where you were at. And they're going to be able to say, all these people who had this here, now we know where they're at and what they're doing. So it's going to get very complicated in much of this tracking. Do you know right now that they are already setting up in New York tracking teams? And those tracking teams are teams that are set up to find out, do you have the coronavirus? And how many people were you in contact with? And we need to contact those people. And they're hiring people to do the tracking now. And they're going to be using technology to do all this with. So the purpose of this here is for the people to get your head out of your sand and understand what's going on, that this is the setup, but they're going to use these kind of things to do all of this with. Isn't this crazy right now? Michael Lawrence, he agreed. What's the churches? Oh, the University Park. Oh, I already gave you University Parkway. I'm just going to the end down here. I am not understanding how or why they're going to use the words to track somebody. Okay, let's do it like this here. Let's say it again. You may have been distracted when I said it. Here's what's going to happen. You're at Walmart, and you have your smartphone and you have your mask on, and you have a person who is there saying, I don't believe in this coronavirus, and I'm not going to social distance, and I'm not going, and you see a group of people who's congregated more than 3, or you see a person who is just, who's coughing, sneezing, hacking, and they don't have anything on, they're going to use you with your smartphone, and you're going to say, this person, I'm turning in a person. I don't know their name, but I am at these 3 words, and they're here with me. And I'm going to stay with them until you get here. And when they walk around wherever they're at, you're going to stay and say, well, I'm now at these 3 words. I am now at these 3 words. And then they're going to come and they're going to attract those people using those, and they know it right down to the 10 square feet. It's not like you're not going to say, I'm at Walmart. You're going to say, I'm traveling down the road in my car. And I'm following this person right now, and they can track you from word to word to word right where you're at. And you don't even have to use any of these things. Isn't this crazy? Is anybody agreeing with what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about now? She said, see more. The person just say, well, their violator is at Walmart. Walmart couldn't, the person just say, their violator's at Walmart. Well, what are you going to do if they move? They're going to do it. You're going to be the one spy. They're going to use this to spy on people. Which person at Walmart? And you got the 3 words to say, I am standing in this location. They'll come right to it. Because if you told me which Walmart, I'm going, Walmart's pretty big. I can't even sometimes find my own wife sometimes in Walmart. You know what I mean? Without a phone, say, hey, where you're at. Tell me what aisle you're on. Tell me what line you're on. Got to know where you're at. And you got all these people going on around. That makes sense, everybody? Let's open up the phone lines. We're going to try it. You want to try it here? 803 508-9111. That's it. Somebody want to get on the line with me here? I'm going to see if I can't put you on the line here. That's 803-508-9111. That's what we're going to try to look at here. See if I can't get you on here with me and see what's going on. 803-508-9111. You'll hear my elephant ring here in a moment. But anyway, that's what's happening. 803-508-9111. Mike says, 3 words will tell you which department you're in. Sure will. Megan Doolittle, Bill found you in Walmart in Gatlinburg. Yes, he did, didn't he? I remember that. Michelle Carter says, okay, I got you now. See, what they're going to do, they're going to use these 3 words that where you're sitting at right now, Michelle, or ever who's out there, you got 3 words. All they got to do is just type in your address, or you stand right next to them and say, hey, this is where I'm at, these 3 words. They don't say that person don't even have to have a phone on, but you're the one that's going to, and that's how they're going to track us, and they're going to track violators, and they're going to do it this way. The coronavirus tracking, it's going to be amazing. You watch what I'm telling you. When you start going into work and they start checking your temperature out, violators, they're going to see, they're going to look for your wristbands. They're going to look for all of these things. It's a setup. The Bible talks about the mark of the beast coming, that you'll not be able to buy or sell unless you have a mark of the beast. And that mark will be a mark in your hand or a mark in your forehead. The 666, that's what many people believe that it's going to be. We are approaching that now. And the technology, somebody's calling the wrong phone number in there. It's 803-508-9111. That's 803-508-9111. That's my phone. I'm going to try to put you on the air right here. Now, when we get this other adapter here, we're going to be able to plug you right on into the system. So if you want to talk about what's going on, 803-508-9111. Rachel Lawrence says, won't be able to hide either. And this tracking sure makes that hard. You got that right. See, all these people think that they're going to go up to a hole in the road somewhere and they're going to hide and everything. I'm going to tell you what you're going to have to do with your phone. And someone says, can't you turn your tracking off? Yes, you can turn your tracking off. You can turn the tracking off on your phone. You can do that. But what you have to do is, even when your phone is completely powered off, they got it so you can't take your batteries out. I wonder why that is. You ever thought about that? or you still got it plugged in, you know what I'm talking about? Is that even when your phone is off, they're tracking you. They're already doing that. Even when your phone is off, they know that they know where you're at. You don't think anything. You don't see any lights on it or anything, but you could turn that off. Another thing is, oh, here comes Sister Sandy here. Here we go. You're going to try it, everybody? Hello, Sister Sandy. You there with me?
Schaefer, how are you?
Okay, that's good. Okay, let's see if you say it again. Are you there with me, Sister Sandy?
I'm here.
Okay, I think I got you here. What you got to say here tonight? What you got?
I'm here. Forgive me. Those are some of my loose dogs from the tornado. And by the way, whoever's listening, who was filled with love enough to help a sister, may God bless you 1,000-fold for what you did. I will never, ever forget it. I never, ever thought that any kind of response like that would exist. So thank you. God bless you all.
All right.
Pastor, how about doing what used to be my street address, since there is no land here anymore? See what words you come with 873 Preserver Road in Nices.
Say it again. Preserver.
Like life preserver, but leave off the life.
Oh, I got it right here. 873 Preserver Road. It is.
Right.
You ready for it? It's called. I'm gonna put it on the screen here so everybody can see it as well. I hope everybody can hear Sister Sandy all right, because I'm trying to do it with my phone. Hold on one second. I'm calling it up right here. Here it is right here. Your 3 words are called fenced, F-E-N-C-E-D, loners, L-O-N-E-R-S, and paparazzi is the three words. Fenced, loners, paparazzi. That's it. If I had to tell.
Good to me.
Huh?
No fences standing here, and lots of loners now, since most people have left. And paparazzi, they don't allow them because the road is barricaded. So, fenced, loners, paparazzi, my goodness.
Yep. So that's how it works. And just to let people know, I mean, that's how that they're going to be able to just say, I mean, the thing is that you'd have to say, Sandy, where are you at? And you'd say, well, I'm at my address. Look at all the words you have to use. Give me that address again. It was 987, 987 what? Preserver Road, Nices, South Carolina.
873 Preserver Road.
Yeah.
And you know, when you give your address to people, they go, spell that, but you don't have to really spell it when it's just 3 words like fenced.
Yep.
And loner and paparazzi. That's most people, that's common words, that you pick up in school or such. I remember when you did a show called Project Seer, you and Pastor Steve Hall did a show on the UN doing all this stuff in America. This was back in, what was it, Pastor, 2016?
Yep, 2016, 2017, something like that.
That's right. And I remember it from way back then. And it is amazing to me that here we have a snapshot. Just like Nazi Germany was a snapshot.
Exactly.
Of what's coming. It may not be it, but it will numb you to where you won't be suspicious when it really does mutilate and become the enemy's tool.
Yeah, well, I mean, so when we look at this here, we're looking at, okay, they're going to locate a person who may be not doing the social distancing like they should. Like if you're on the beach, just go to the beach, go to the mountains. I mean, you walk down the street, go anywhere, and you're seeing a violator or something happen. And I mean, all you've got to do is say, this person is at these 3 words right now, and I'm tracking them. And the authorities, with the right tools of the simple tool that you have, of what 3 words, they can go right to where you're at and everything. I'm just saying that this is a tool that I believe the enemy is going to use in the last days to be able to track violators with. He's going to be able to look here. It's going to eventually be able to track Christians. That's the point. It's going to be people who's not going to go into the beast system. And someone says, "Well, I'll just unwrap my phone, get rid of my phone." So they're not worried about you. They're going to use other people who are standing right next to you to rat on you. That's how this thing's. You're not going to be able to get away from this. That's how it's going to work.
Like the lady in California that was walking her dog like at midnight in her neighborhood, and one of her neighbors called the police and they arrested her. No one was on the street. It was after midnight in California. She was just walking her dog, and a neighbor called the police and faked on her, and she got arrested. Isn't that amazing?
That's right.
It makes you wonder, how have we changed as a nation and as a society that we would turn in a neighbor for walking a dog in the dark with nobody around just because the head of the state said to rat him out and think on him?
Right. Well, you know that the mayor of New York, de Blasio, he already has a hotline to where you can call. You can already call and say, "Hey, there are violators here." And what I'm telling you is that this what 3 words is going to be part of the tool that they use just to find out this is what's going on. This is where you're at. And
go ahead.
I mean, I'm just letting people know is that they are already wanting to rat on people in things like that.
Well, now, as a counter to that, I saw a broadcast, a news broadcast, where the police and the first responders unions have stood together, come out against the governors and the officials who are having them do things that are not constitutional to the people. In fact, it's sort of, they are doing just what you said, like arresting a mother on a playground with her children present. And someone said, well, that was a publicity stunt. Maybe so, but it was something the officer, he was the victim of the stunt. He shouldn't have arrested the mother in front of her children. So what has happened is we're going to see the police who protect us and to go by the Constitution of the state and the nation. They have banded together in their unions and said, look, we are not going to violate the trust of the people that we stand in front of, and we're not going to do things to them that are unconstitutional. So that is sort of a small counter to this of people taking it upon themselves to rat out their neighbors.
Yeah, you know what I think. You know what I think is going to happen is that when you've got good people right now mixed with people who you got good people and you got bad people. You got some people who's going to, follow the law. You got some people who are saying, hey, this is violation. But when it comes down to the beast system, when it comes down to going into the authorities, see, what you got to realize is that even the people who are going to be part of the authority of the beast system, I don't care if they're a New York police officer, Augusta, Georgia, New Ellington, whatever, they're going to have to come up with the loyalty that they have to the beast system, and they're going to be called out. The ones that are not going to follow the beast, they're going to be called out. And once that culling process happens, those kind of things are like, you're going to lose your job, you can't work here no more, or it's not got to the point yet where they have to lay your head on a chopping block like it will be with the mark of the beast. But it is surely culling you out to know that you're not going to be part of this system. But once all that has happened and all the people have been culled out of the system and it's a corrupt system, you're going to see ratting just like you saw in Germany. You're going to see, I mean, they were all ratted out. I mean, there was no people left there other than the people who were the rats. I mean, of course, who were going to be part of the beast system. So, yeah, I mean, right now you're seeing people say, no, we're not going to do it. But when it comes down to Revelation 13 and all of these coming down through the mark of the beast and what he's going to do, yeah, it's going to be wicked at what's going to happen. And they'll just roll out the guillotines. You know, all those guillotines they got stored in Georgia over here and all these different places. They're going to use these things, just like they're going to use this what 3 words to find out where you at and what's going on. You know, when you start talking about this kind of stuff, it's not a churchy world. It's not a churchy topic that people don't want to talk about. I mean, in the pulpit, people need to be taught what's going on. People need to know what's going on, because what's going to happen is that they're going to be rolled up into the system, or they think that they're going to be raptured out of here and miss all of this. And I'm letting you know right now, you are in the middle of it right now. Don't even realize it.
What amazes me is, and I've mentioned this to you before, in the past month, I guess, I have firsthand, and I've spoken to this to you before, I have seen firsthand the coming together and the rising up of my brothers and sisters in Christ with love and compassion, who are not keeping silent anymore. They're not being timid. They talk about the Lord Jesus. They're not afraid to say, I'm a believer in the Lord Jesus, or you. And they're not afraid to drop whatever they're doing and help people. It's astonishing to me. And we are still, I believe, in a time, and you've used this phrase before, so please let me steal it from you. You said it when our church first began doing deliverance. It's time to put on your big boy pants and stand up and do what's right. And I think what we're seeing is you've got the good people and you've got the wicked ones. And it's actually coming down to how can I say it? It's almost like it's another trial run. Who's going to win this bout? Is it going to be the good guys who finally stand up and be big and do what's right, or are they going to give in to the wicked? And that's sort of the way I see it right now. But that's all a preface to the system of the beast. I mean, that is just the preface to it.
Yes, I agree.
Everything you just said, along with the technology. My goodness.
Yeah, let me take a few of these right here. Laura Tiedemann says, scary stuff. Don't let it frighten you. So we're not here to bring out a spirit of fear, and I know you're not, but it is a term I use. I use the word crazy. Isn't this stuff crazy? Or you can say, yeah, this stuff frightening because it's scary. It's a matter of, here's what Joe Gullen says, Google tracks every move you make. Yeah, but they can't tell people where to come get you at that easy. But they sure can. They sure can tell you with this what 3 words. Rachel Lawrence says, well, I have mine confused because Facebook and Google has been trying to get me to register to vote in Kansas all week as Democrat, and I've never even been in Kansas, and I'm a Republican. Well, Laura said this here on the, y'all can read the comments. Laura said this here. She says, I put in my address and they said I was a Second Amendment supporter and a Republican. That's what came up on her address and everything when she put it in. That's a laugh out loud, everybody. But yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I'm going to, if you don't mind, I just cannot resist when you put a topic out there that's as delicious as this one, especially when the scriptures that the Lord's been taking me to in my daily studies has all come down to the same thing: running the race, standing up, and waiting for that reward of the crown of righteousness, because you don't give in and you don't give up. You just keep running the race no matter what. And on that note, keep doing what you're doing, Pastor. Keep preaching. People have to know the Lord says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. That doesn't mean you run out and stick your nose right in the middle of it, but you put it away in your memory bank so when it happens, you're not caught unawares or ignorant. Thank you, Pastor,
All right.
for what you do.
God bless you,
God
Sandy.
bless you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, there you go. That's Sandy. You want to call in and talk with me? It's 803-508-9111. That's 803-508-9111. We'll put you right on here. So the main thing is I want to let you know is that there are nefarious things that are happening. Now, you can go back, if you just tuned in, everybody, go back at the beginning of this, watch the video, the 3 videos that I gave you, one from Israel, one from South Korea, where they're using the technology already, and then What 3 Words. The What 3 Words is a website that you go to, and I'm going to put it up on the screen right here. You can go to the browser and type in, let's see, didn't we do the White House? You don't even have to know the address, but this is the White House. This is 3 words that represents the White House. And with the app, the What 3 Words app that you can put on your phone, see it right there? The 3, it'll be red with the white lines in it right there. You download that app right there, and then you can locate where you're at and locate others by typing it in and tracks to the place to where they're at. And you can find out how to get to where a person, get directions to where they're at. It's wonderful to use during the time of, just like they said, I went down to Katrina. I don't know when Katrina was. It 2012? I'm not sure when it was. But that came to my mind. I went to Katrina. And when we left from here and went to Katrina, we went to Mississippi. On this side of it, in Louisiana right there, Mississippi and Louisiana, the Gulf right there, is that there were no street signs. They weren't there. There were no street signs, and they were using GPS back then. They had a person who had a laptop, and that's how they were able to locate where they're at. They were able to do it off of GPS and the computer, because there were no street signs. And when you pull off the interstate and you go, where are you at? You didn't know where you were at. There were no street signs. You had no clue. You didn't have your phones then. Back then, you didn't have your smartphones and all of this happening. So you were there by yourself. But if they had those 3 words, now with your smartphones, you say, this is where I'm located at. I don't even have to have the address. Of course, you could have the address if you were tracking. But anyway, these are the kind of things that they're going to be talking about using. All right, well, you just need to pray, everybody. You need to pray, let people know how close the end is and how the enemy is setting everything up. He's setting up to be able to put a stranglehold on every believer. You'll be able to put right down to the very room where a person is at. Would they have, I've got a believer, they're a Christian over here, they're talking about this kind of stuff. They'll say, well, what's the address? You don't even got to know what address you're at. All you got to do is put in these 3 words, and there they are. They'll come. You walk away. And if they're still there inside that 10-foot square doing their thing, they'll know right where they're at. Isn't that crazy how they're going to find all this stuff going on? Donna Creeks, better get on the ark before the door shuts. I agree. Get on that ark. All right, everybody. I think that's it. That's all I've got here for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the program. It's going to be a crazy ride between here and the end is what's going to happen. It's going to be a crazy thing that's going to be happening. Everybody, let's see where I'm at here. There we go. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. I don't know what's going to happen between now and the end, but I know that God is setting us up. It's going to be an amazing time that we live in. Technology is going to be amazing. Satellite tracking. They're going to find out where everybody's at. They're going to want to know what's going on. Listen here, coronavirus tracking. They're going to find out whether or not you've had the virus or not. They're going to find out if you've had the vaccine. Maybe we need to talk about vaccination next time. Who's going to take the vaccination? Are you going to take it? Remember what some of the prophets have already said about the vaccination. And you're saying you're not going to take it? It could be just as easy as buying and selling. That without the vaccination, watch this here, you don't buy, you don't sell until you take the vaccination. And it comes down to that. Maybe we're closer to the mark of the beast than you can imagine. And all they've got to do is just see what 3 words you're at to see how close that you are on everything. Well, look here. I've been your host, Henry Schaefer. I've enjoyed the program here tonight. We're going to get out of here. Here we go. Love you guys. I love everybody. God bless you. Hope you enjoyed tonight. Come on, we'll do it again. God bless everybody. We'll do it again. God bless you. Have a good night. Plead the blood of Jesus over everybody.